Hello and welcome to Sonyabeonit channel. We're going to make scrambled eggs, all of our eggs. With that in mind, let's get started. Here are the ingredients that you're going to need in order to prepare the scrambled eggs. I have some slices of cheese. I have 4 eggs. The reason I have 4 eggs is because I'm actually cooking for 2 people. If it was actually 1 person, then you will only need 2 eggs. I also have some country crock, margarine or butter that you're going to need to actually coat the skillet in order to fry your eggs. So the first thing we're going to do is get a little bowl of some sort. We're going to take the egg, we're going to put it directly on the edge of the bowl. We're going to crack it just a little bit open. It's going to release that egg. Another egg, crack it down the middle. Don't worry about the shells actually entering into the bowl because you can actually take that out or discard that later after cracking all 4. Hit it on the side, open. Same thing, side. You see that middle piece? Open. Okay, so there we have it, 4 eggs. Now, you don't have to do this. This is something that I always do. I don't personally eat eggs, but the cords that comes on, the birth cords that comes on the eggs, I like to take those off, and you can do the same thing too. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to the other 3 eggs. We're going to take those cords off. And on the egg, there's actually 2 sides to the eggs that has the cord. Let me get a different kind of fork to see if that's going to work. It's just something I don't like on eggs, so I take them off when I'm cooking for my kids, or even when I'm making cakes, I take it off. You're going to discard that. Let me check my other eggs to make sure I've taken those off. Here we go. There's one here. You don't have to do this. It's just something that I do. So you don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. There's another cord. Let's take that and discard that. So the next thing you're going to do, I made sure all the cords off the eggs. You're going to take your fork and you're going to begin to scramble that in the bowl. I want you to scramble it so it almost looks like it's white. Okay, there you have it. Scrambled eggs. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this over to the stove and we're going to get started in cooking this scrambled egg tutorial. Okay, we have brought over the scrambled eggs that we actually mixed up in the bowl. We have brought over the 2 slices of cheese, the margarine, the spatula that we're going to use to mix it. And the key to making a very, very good scrambled egg is some type of cover lid. Because what's going to happen is once we put this margarine inside of the skillet, it's going to coat the skillet. Then we're going to pour the eggs over into it with the cheese, and we're going to coat it with the cover lid. So let's get started with that. If you have a gas stove such as I do, you want to go ahead and turn it on to probably about a 3/4 setting. If you have an electric stove, make sure you turn it down. This is one of those type meals you don't want to rush through and trying to cook. So we're going to take a teaspoon of margarine or a tablespoon of margarine, and we're going to put that inside the skillet. Allow that to melt for a second. I'm going to coat that pan. Although this is a non-stick skillet, I still want to go ahead and coat my skillet. Okay, set there. Allow that to melt for a few seconds. If you want to put salt, pepper, or seasoned salt inside your egg, that's fine. I would recommend that you only use a pinch because you don't want your dry season to overpower your egg or your cheese or just your eggs itself. So that's beginning to melt. While that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that pan is well coated. I'm going to pick up my eggs. You can take your fork or your spoon. Just mix it up a little bit more because it has settled since that time. Okay, that's as you can see, the skillet is really getting heated because you can see the margarine actually is bubbling. So then you want to go ahead and pour that in there. Going to add half of that first piece of cheese, the other half, and there's 2 more halves. That's another half, and that's a half. Okay, now it only takes approximately between 45 seconds to a minute to cook a scrambled egg, a good scrambled egg. You're going to take your lid, you want to cover, because what you want it to do, you want it to cook, and the steam from cooking the egg, it's going to also keep the moisture of the egg together, if that makes sense to you. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. As you can see, this lid is beginning to foam up in a sense, and what the egg is doing is cooking from the bottom up, and the cheese is actually going to melt simultaneously with the egg, or it's going to melt together, so you won't have one of those situations where the egg is done but the cheese is not melted. So we're going to leave that like that for a couple of seconds, and it's actually cooking. We're going to turn it up just a little bit more. So you want like a very low to a medium type setting. I would prefer a low setting when you're cooking scrambled eggs. Okay, we're going to allow that to cook for about 10 seconds. Okay, as you can see, it's beginning to bubble. The cheese on the inside is actually melting with the lid on top because the steam is trapping it while the heat is cooking the egg. Not only is it cooking the egg, but it's also melting the cheese at the same time. I'll let you take a look. That cheese is melting. So we won't have the illusion of the cheese. The egg is done, but the cheese is not. Let's go ahead and remove this lid, because once you see the edge of that egg start to cook, see it's cooking, you're going to take your spatula. Now you're going to mix it up. Turn your owl off. Mix it well. And there you go, scrambled eggs. And here's the final results of the scrambled cheese and egg. As you can see, it's fully cooked, not dried out. And there you have it, scrambled eggs. I hope you have enjoyed the time we've shared together in making scrambled egg and cheese. Until next time, be blessed.